Alright team, so part of what we're doing is we're going to make a game. So we're going to make a game that where you are this little moon rover in the middle. So let's have a look at this game. So we're going to move our rover around so you can see I can rotate him, I can also drive forward and I can turn at the same time if I want to. Now my objective to this game is to collect these resources which I have got as orange bubbles. So they could be like minerals, water, anything like that that we want to find on Mars in order to survive, in order to make it a viable thing. And we also want to avoid all the craters, which I have turned into purple circles. So if I hit that circle, it'll say I've crashed and the game will stop. So that is the basics of the game. Now you could make this game as easy or as hard as you like. You could even make multiple screens if you want. It's up to you what you choose to do. So let's dive in with a new project. So what we're going to do when we start this project, we're going to delete our sprite. We're going to start with nothing now. Alright, so what we're going to do, we are going to upload our background. Now you don't immediately click on it, but you go up to this top one where you go upload, and we're going to provide some images that are already spec'd to the right size for you. Now, I picked this one for the first one, but I might want to pick this one for this time around, so we've got something different. Alright, so here we have our surface that we are going to work on. So we've got some craters we're going to avoid. Maybe we'll put our resources somewhere around. It should be pretty easy going. Alright, so first of all, we need to create our rover. So that is going to be a sprite. Now we don't have any sprites because we just deleted it. But what we're going to do, we're going to go up here and we're going to upload our sprite. So I've provided a couple of different versions. So we'll use the Scratch Rover. So we're going to upload this rover. Now this rover is ready to go, but we can only drag him around with the mouse. We can't actually make it move just yet. So what we got to do, we have to program that. So in order to do that, we're going to go up here to events. And most of our events are going to start with when a flag is clicked. So the starting of the program, go. We are also going to need a forever program and an if statement to occur for this. So the thing that might occur is we will have a key, there we go, and that key will be up, for example. So this will be our forward. So when up key is pressed, we'll come back to motion and we're going to move in 10 steps. So let's just try that. So if I push, oh, there we go, it's going forward and it's going to keep going forward on and on forever. So bring it back. All right, so our forward control works when I push my up key on my mouse, on my keyboard. All right, so next stage, we are going to repeat this. So let's just stop our program so we can, and this is an easy way to make this happen a lot quicker. Right click and we'll just duplicate this. We'll duplicate it 4 times and you'll see why in a second. So this one here we're going to set to down arrow and I'm going to make this -5. I don't want it to go backwards as fast as it goes forward. So the next thing we need to do, we also need to get rid of these 2 commands because we don't need them. And instead we're going to put in our first one, left arrow, second one, right arrow, and you guessed it, we're going to turn left and we're going to turn right. Now, I have noticed that this is quite high for an initial turn, so I'm actually going to drag it down to 5 so that it is not too bad. Now this should be enough to get our little rover roaming around the place quite well. Now you notice he goes quite quickly, so let's maybe just reduce the steps to 5. We'll have a look and see if that's better. Okay, so that's still pretty good. It's enough that I can avoid obstacles, I believe. Or if I just go little bits at a time, I can get quite accurate with it. So you can also make a pretty good racing game with this if you want. The other thing you could do is you could set up a second rover for someone else and map it to maybe your WSAD keys and set up some obstacles that you have to race around. And that could be one way of making your own little racing game. So something for you guys to try if you want to. All right. The next thing I'm going to need to do, I'm going to need to collect something. So what I'm going to do down here, I'm going to go up to this and I'm going to look for something that I can use as my resource. So say I want to collect puppies, I could grab a puppy and put it in there, right? But we're going to collect something just a little bit more. So let's collect a ball. So I've got a ball, we'll just chuck it up there for now. Now, the ball is going to need its own code as well. So what we're going to do, we are going to have an event. So when this is starting, so this is starting out today, we're good, we're ready to go. When clicked, when program runs, this program will happen. We're going to do another forever program and if statement in here. But this time with sensing, instead of it being based on a click or something, we're going to have it when touching. Okay, so this could be when touching any object. So we've created the scratch rover here. So when this scratch rover touches this, it will do the next thing. Now that next thing will be a type of look. And what we're going to do, we're going to hide it. We're also going to need to put in show at the start because once it disappears, it will be hard to get back again. So let's run our program and just test if this works. All right, so it disappears. And then you can see it's gone forever until I start the program again, clicking on the flag. All right, so we have one ball going, which is really, really good. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go into Scratch Rover. Now, we are going to create another event, and it's gonna be a pretty similar case to before. We're going to run the forever command and we're going to run an if statement inside there as well. Now, in this case, what we're also going to need to do is we're going to need to start a variable off. So we're going to make a variable here called score. And score is now going to come up the top, which is really cool. So what we want to happen is when we hit this, it's going to increase the score for us. So if our rover touches our ball, what we are going to do is come to variables and we are going to change my variable by 1. So here we can select score. So now when my rover touches the ball, it should change that variable to 1. Oh, not quite yet. What's going on? When it touches the ball, good. And this is the ball. Change my score by 1. Let's have a look. There we go. All right, so that's working now. Start the program again. Now, as you can see, it's holding on to the score. So every time I run this program, it's just going to add to my score. So what I actually need to do is I need to, when I hit this button, have it reset to 0. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another when event happens, but this time it's a lot easier than before. We've got variables, so we're going to go change, set my variable to, and we're going to make it 0. So now when we hit this button, oh, that's why I've got to change my score. All right, so it's going to 0, and we're back in business. All right. So we have created a basic game here and it's functioning okay. But now we need some other kind of obstacles. So let's change some of these craters here so that they are now something that we have to avoid. So I'm going to click on my backdrop and go over here to backdrops and I'm going to create a circle. Now that circle can be any kind of color you want. So pick a color that you want the circle to be and we'll just make it a light bluish grayish so it's different to our background, but it still works. Now what we're going to do, we are going to, whoops, wrong one. I'm going to just create some little circles on the craters or the obstacles that we want to avoid in order to successfully undertake our mission. We don't want the rover to go on these because that would be bad. So we've made some various craters that we want to avoid, which is good. Now we can come back out to code. And in under our rover, we are going to create yet another when clicked command here. So we're going to go when clicked. We're going to go control. We're going to go forever. We're going to go if. Now, it's going to look very similar to this one. So we're going to go sensing, but instead we're going to go when touching color. So this color, and we're going to use the color picker so that we get the exact color, because it's very sensitive, so it'll only work for these colors. So when it does this particular color, we're going to come back to variables. We're going to change my variable again. But this time, we're going to type in -1. All right, let's have a look at that. So when I drive it around, it's going to touch on that, and oh, I might need to restart my, that's probably why. Oh, not quite working just yet. Variable. I will get this wrong every time. Score, that's better. All right, so, oh, and look what happens to my score. It just maxes out, so it doesn't want to stop. So I can get 1 point back there, but I've lost a whole bunch there. So we need some other things to happen here. So maybe let's not go change score by, let's just delete that one. Let's instead come up to control, and we'll go stop all. We'll put in a wait command, and let's put in a look that says crashed, game over, and we can stop the whole game after it does that. So let's have a look at doing it that way, and we'll grab this, put that in that order. I think should work. Let's stop and start again. All right, so we're wandering around. We are grabbing a point, very good, but oh no, I've hit the crashed game over and it stops. Okay, so that's good. Now we have a functioning operating game. Let's make it a little bit more exciting. Let's maybe duplicate the ball a couple of times. So we'll pop our balls in different locations this time. We'll make them, let's make that one a little tricky to get. Put this one dead in the middle. Follow down there. All right. So we got a few more balls. We got ball 2, and ball 3. Let's come back to our rover. Now, you'll notice here that if touching ball, I need to make this work for all 3. So what I need to actually do, I need to copy that if statement a couple of times. And this time, what I'm going to, make sure that's in the right spot. This time I'm going to make sure the second one is ball 2, and third one is ball 3. So let's start this game and test it out, and I'll do my best not to hit the blue. All right, score 1. Score 2, getting through there just, very good. Score 3, good, and if I want to finish the game, crashed, game over. All right, good. So that is my fully operating game. Now, you could make this more complicated if you want. You could, for example, draw a line around the edge of this. So we go to backdrops. Again, you could get your penmanship out and start just drawing a line down the edge and making it really difficult to drive through. Put a line down here. So you could start getting really tricky with this. So let's have a look at how this works again now. So I'll get my rover out of the way. All right, starting the game. All right, so I'm scoring, coming along. Can I just touch this and not crash the game? Good, and I could drive through the valley. It's tricky, but if I hit the, I'm out. So you could make this game as hard or as simple as you like. Now, as I said, if you're making a racing game, you could map 2 cars, one with the arrow keys, one with the WSAD keys if you like, and you could make a track simply like this as well, and have similar objectives whenever you cross a line that is your start-finish line. Like you would have balls, for example, you could have a color. When you hit that color and go past, you could have laps, so lap 1, lap 2 for the various cars. There's lots of things you could do, and this is just a starting point for game making. It also gives you an idea of the kind of coding and programming that goes into making our rovers work and operate on this kind of scenery. Now the only really big difference that we have between our particular game here and real life is that there is a massive lag between the two. Now Mars at best could be 4 minutes each way, so you're looking at 8 minutes just to move and see that movement happen. So 4 minutes to get there, tell it to move, it moves, and then it shows you that movement via its relay of that movement 4 minutes after that. And that's the best. The worst is actually 24 minutes. So what that means is 24 minutes, you command it to go forward, 24 minutes later it goes forward, tells you that it's moved 24, that takes 24 minutes to get to you, so it's actually 48 minutes per movement. So that's where it gets tricky. So for those of you who are really keen out there and want an extended challenge, I want to see if you can make this work on a delay. Now make it a simple delay, something like 10 seconds. So when you want to, for example, move around like this, you have to make that movement and then you have to wait for it to then move before you can continue. Okay, so good luck, have fun with the challenge, and if you have any questions, shoot them through to teacher, and if they can't answer you, I will get back to them and help them out as well. All right, good luck team.